Hello, my friends. Y'all, there is so much happening in Africa right now simultaneously. I don't even know where to start. Let's go to West Africa, shall we? Let's go to Burkina Faso, the land of the upright man, the land of the captain of all captains, His Excellency, the one and only, Le Capitaine Ibrahim Traoré. I'm sure you guys know by now that the U.S. proposed that Burkina Faso accept people being deported from the U.S., right? So not just Burkina Faso citizens, but just random people from random countries in the world. So the U.S. wants Burkina Faso to accept those people. So the captain was like, go play with somebody else. Don't come play with me with that nonsense. What do you mean I should take people that are being deported from your country? Remember, the Trump administration said that they were deporting gangsters and bad people. So you want those bad people to not come to my country, right? The captain said, hell no. So Burkina Faso's foreign minister, Karamo Jean-Marie Traoré, called this proposal completely indecent and incompatible with the country's idea of dignity. The U.S. Embassy in Ouagadougou suspended many visa services, redirecting applications to Togo. So if you are a Burkinabe trying to travel to the U.S., you will not be able to get your visa while in Ouagadougou you have to go to Togo. The U.S. has agreements with some African countries where those countries will accept people being deported from the U.S. This falls under a third country deportation scheme. Let me know what you guys think about this, because this is wild. Like, my brain cannot process this. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.
If the news is true that Ibrahim Traoré, the leader of Burkina Faso, the country in Africa, cut off Black Americans being able to gain citizenship in this country, or even, I guess, come to the country, set up shop, maybe on a visa, something like that. If it's true, because I haven't seen any official reports, I've only seen social media posts. But let's just say it is true. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. Like, we all know that Ibrahim Traoré, has taken over the country in order to liberate and save his country. And we know that he is gotten rid of certain agreements from European countries that claim to have some sort of not obligation, but some claim to their resources. Like, he has to reshape his country. So I think we all understand globally of his focus is liberating his people and making sure his people are in control of their own resources and have a right to self-determination. Like, I am for a people, a community, a society, a sovereign nation being self-determining. So God bless Ibrahim Traoré and what he's doing. God bless the people of Burkina Faso. My feelings ain't hurt none. Do y'all thing, be safe, build your resources, build your society for a strong society, raise your children, do whatever you need to do, like I said, to be self-determined and making sure your people are okay. Even if that means excommunication. I wasn't planning on going no way, but I completely understand, dog.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Tech. Today we are talking about a story that is blowing up on TikTok and social media right now. According to a viral post, Burkina Faso's leader Ibrahim Traoré allegedly refused request linked to Donald Trump, and soon after, the United States reportedly placed a visa restriction on Burkina Faso. Wow. But the big question is it the real democracy or social media exaggeration? Guys, let's break it down together.
Burkina Faso has firmly rejected a proposal from the United States to accept migrants deported under President Donald Trump's renewed immigration crackdown. The plan involves sending migrants to third countries with which they have no ties. But Burkina Faso's foreign minister, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré, called the offer indecent and contrary to the principle of dignity. He declared, Burkina Faso is a land of dignity. We are a destination, not a place of expulsion. His remarks came shortly after the U.S. Embassy in Ouagadougou suspended most visa services and redirected Burkinabe applicants to Togo. The minister questioned the move, asking, is this a way to put pressure on us? Is this blackmail? Whatever it is, Burkina Faso is a place of dignity, not a dumping ground. Meanwhile, reports suggest that several African countries, including Ghana, Rwanda, Uganda, Eswatini, and South Sudan, have already agreed to accept US deportees as part of the deal. Now here's my take. Burkina Faso's position deserves respect. Why should African nations keep accepting migrants who have no roots, no family, and no connection to their land? How does it make sense to receive people simply because they are African? This is not partnership, this is pressure. The same countries that exploit Africa's minerals, dictate our economies, and interfere in our politics now want to turn Africa into a dumping site for their deportations. And when Burkina Faso said no, they paused visas as if to punish them for choosing dignity. Let's be honest, if other African nations keep saying yes to such arrangements, what does that say about how much value we place on our sovereignty and identity? Burkina Faso stood tall and said no. The question is, will others have that same courage? Now to you watching, what do you think? Should African governments accept these US deportation deals in the name of diplomacy, or should they follow Burkina Faso's example and defend their national dignity and African pride?
Major breaking news. Ibrahim Traoré has officially rejected the deportees, the illegal immigrants from the United States, and Donald Trump went ahead and immediately reciprocated by restricting Burkina Faso from entering the United States. You won't believe this. Remember, these are criminals who can never go back to their nations. They come from Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, Venezuela. And mind you, there are some of the African nations that had already received these particular criminals. You won't believe this. Signed a deal and even received money. Nations like Ghana, nations like Eswatini, nations like Rwanda, nations like South Sudan, and many more others. And let me tell you, Ibrahim Traoré went ahead and said that his nation is not a room of expulsion. You won't believe this. He went ahead and said he can never receive these particular criminals. And even Nigeria, before other nations went ahead and started receiving these particular criminals, they went ahead and said Nigeria is not a dumping site. And Nigeria was even restricted again. So you can literally see, you have to receive for us to give you. And that's how the United States behave. You have to serve their interest for them to serve yours. So if you can never serve them, they can never look upon you. So this is how things goes out here.
My diplomatic friend Ibrahim Traoré, the president of Burkina Faso, I am pleading to you to accept my invitation at this time. I, Donald Trump, and Americans don't have any negative interest against. You are your citizens in Burkina Faso. I just want us to meet and have a discussion on how to support your country's developments and also to strengthen our diplomatic friendships as countries.
Here it is what's being claiming online. Several viral videos say that Ibrahim Traoré refused to accept deportees or rejected invitation connected to Donald Trump to go to the White House. And that is the US responded by banning or restricting visa for people from Burkina Faso. They call them Burkinabe. Now let's slow this down. First, visa bans don't happen overnight because of one refusal or one invitation. When the US impose visa restrictions, it's usually tied to security concerns, diplomatic tensions, or immigration cooperation issues, or long-term policy disagreements. Second, there is no official public statement from the US government confirming total visa ban, especially about one country like Burkina Faso. Trump or deportees, most of these claims are coming from social media content creators and some unofficial videos. That said, it's true that Burkina Faso military government has taken strong anti-Western countries, states. But this video are talking about many videos, like many countries like France, a country from United Emirates Arab, different countries. So what we are seeing online is linked mixed with real tension and exaggeration storytelling. But the truth is, Ibrahim Traoré is the one who decided for his country, because if he refused to receive deportees, it's because he knows that those people are criminals. And he say Burkina Faso is a destination you can go enjoy, not a place you can deport people who are not good behavior from your country. I still have another clips. Let's watch them. I'll come back with a comment.
Oh, my people. Did you hear what just happened? The U.S. has banned visas for Burkina Faso, all because the West African nation said no to a U.S. deportation deal. It doesn't get more serious than this, does it? According to Burkina Faso's foreign minister, the U.S. quietly reached out to Burkina Faso a few weeks ago with what they called a migration arrangement. And the demand was for them to take in deportees. Now, not just Burkina-based citizens, but also foreign nationals from other countries. And they said, absolutely not. We will not be your dumping ground. The foreign minister said, quote, naturally, this proposal, which we deemed indecent at the time, is totally contrary to the value of dignity, which is part of the very essence of the vision of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, end quote. And the U.S., well, they didn't like that response. So within days, the U.S. Embassy in Ouagadougou suspended all visa services. If you're a Burkina-based citizen trying to travel, study, or visit family in the U.S., you now have to go to Togo just to apply. So they shut their doors, punished travelers, and sent a message. You defy us, we will make it hurt. Now, what Burkina Faso just did matters, because while other African countries, from Ghana, surprisingly, to Rwanda are cutting deals, they just drew a line in the sand. And when we talk about power, right, most people think of armies, money, or influence. But sometimes, power is simply the ability to say no and mean it. But perhaps the real question we should all be asking is, what would happen if Africa had a unified response? Right now, Burkina Faso is standing alone, fighting alone in a continent of 54 nations. But here's the twist. Right now, Trump is also after Africa's critical minerals. He needs Africa more than he admits. So imagine if we stood together and said, you want our minerals? Fine, but you don't get to ban us. You don't get to deport us. You don't get to dictate to us. That's leverage. And honestly, that's the kind of collective confidence Africa has never truly used. So let me know in the comments, did Burkina Faso do the right thing? Do you think the continent should unite and refuse U.S. deportation deals, even if it costs aid and visas and whatever else may come? Let's talk about it. And watch my full breakdown of this story on YouTube, Panda Genius TV.
This dude is the man. This dude is the man. This dude is the man. In the same week, this man, Ibrahim Traoré, said no to Trumpy, Saudi Arabia, and Air France. In the same week, Trumpy invited Captain Ibrahim Traoré to come to the US and have a meeting with him. He said no. Not only that, he said no. He said, and I quote, no, I'm busy building my country. Elite. And Trumpy got mad. He said that was disrespectful and he was going to put sanctions on Burkina Faso. Yo, this dude is the man. This dude is the man. Saudi Arabia approached him. They wanted to build 200 mosques in Burkina Faso. He said, and I quote, he said, no, our people can pray anywhere. If the people in Gaza can still pray while they're getting bombed, our people in Burkina Faso can also pray. We don't need mosques. He said, we do not need mosques. We need schools, we need hospitals, we need companies, we need businesses, we need industries, but we do not need mosques. Elite, elite. This dude is the man. This dude is the man. A few weeks ago, maybe a month, Air France said that they would not send the planes in Burkina Faso because Burkina Faso was a red zone, right? And Captain Ibrahim Traoré said, okay, if you're not going to send your planes here, that's fine. All these other companies are sending their planes here. And you are saying that our country is a red zone. No problem. Fast forward this week, Air France got in contact with Ibrahim Traoré. And this time they're like, we would like to send our planes in Burkina Faso moving forward. And he said, and I quote again, before you start sending your planes over here, make sure that you tell the rest of the world that Burkina Faso is not a red zone. Tell them that Burkina Faso is a green zone before you can start sending your planes over here, because you were the ones putting that in the press that we were a red zone. No problem. You want to send your planes over here? Cool. But you got to make sure that you tell the rest of the world that Burkina Faso is a green zone from now on. Elite. This dude is the man. Meanwhile, the president of Congo is over here begging Donald Trump for help. I'm so embarrassed.
This is why on Liquor's Take we don't just repeat the headline or question them, but Africa is changing. Reader like Ibrahim Traoré are challenging the old power dynamics, and that makes global politics very sensitive. But until we see official document or statements, stories like it should be treated as viral crime, not confirmed fact. So, what do you think, guys? Is it the US is using visa policies as pressure on the country in Africa? Or is it social media turning complex diplomacy into crackbait? Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments. If you like balanced African perspective, please subscribe, because this is Rika's Take. We'll see you in the next one. I love you guys.